Oh, we got a hit. Oh, we got one. We got one. And this is another big one. That's a big fish. My goodness.
What's happening, everybody? Willie here, good old wanna go fishing. This is kind of a part 2/2A, 3B, 3A, part 2, 3. This is 3 probably, yes, I think it's 3. And what it is part 3 about this little fella right here. Now this was the second reel that was bought from the Lightfoot Antique Mall. And it came on a really long Shakespeare rod, solid fiberglass, 14-pound whip of a rod. I would put it up there where you could see it, but every time I do that, I'm gonna close my, let's try something new. I'm gonna hold it here and duck my head so the camera doesn't pick up on my eyeballs. And maybe it'll focus on the reel instead of me. What do you think of that? Hopefully that worked. We're going to find out during the editing process. This is a really good looking little reel. It seemed to function really well. This is back when they were making them in France. And that seemed to be the whole theme of that particular episode was, or at least the buying it from the antique part shop was reels made in France. And honestly, I didn't know there were so many reels that were made in France and places like that. But, you know, they got to fish too. That is a pretty good working reel right there. We're going to take this guy apart, disassemble it, clean it up, get some line on it, find a rod over here in the corner somewhere that we can put it on. A rod, a usable rod, you know, something that functions. And we're going to go from there. I mean, that's what this is all about. Part 3, getting the little Mitchell 308 working and getting it out there catching fish again. So anyway, let's dig into this guy and see what we can find here. Now I'm going to aim you down toward the table here after I turn the texting off on my phone. So anyway, on these guys, you have one big screw right on the side there. And that's really all it takes to pop this little guy apart and see what's going on in there. So let's go ahead and do that. It actually works so well that I'm kind of skeptical about it. Where'd my parts thing go? Parts. How'd it get over there? I think Evan did that. So this thing actually works so well that I'm not foreseeing any real nastiness inside of here. So, oh yeah, that don't look bad in there at all. Not a bit. That looks pretty good. Not going to take a whole lot of tearing apart on this one's process here. I mean, there's some gook down in there that we can clean out, and a little bit down in here. So, after further inspection, I'm just going to say it out loud. I don't think this reel has ever been fished with, ever. This thing's not dirty in any way, shape, or form, other than there was a little dust on the cap, and I cleaned that off. The base sticker and everything is still there like the day it was put on. There's nothing showing in any way that this reel has ever been used. So I'm going to tell you right now, in the history of buying old fishing reels, I have yet to open up one as clean and perfect inside as this little reel right here was. So I'm going to get some line on it. We're going to pick a rod back here. I've been talking with a couple of guys. I've been talking with Dan. Dan, of course, lives in Minnesota. And I've been talking with Ben from Semper Gumby channel. And they're having a heck of a time, just like we are with the weather. Ben just informed me they got freeze warnings again. And Dan just informed me that they are under a ground blizzard warning right now. Ground blizzard warning? I'm glad I don't know what that really is. The only thing I can figure is that the wind's so bad, maybe it's blowing stuff around, making snowdrifts and things like that. Dan, you'll have to further explain. But I'm in love with this little reel right here.
First cast of the revamped Luxor. It is 78 degrees out here. I mean, it's perfect. Water's still probably going to be a little cool. First cast. The thing I really like about it is that I can flip the bail manually and I don't have to use just the crank to make it go off there. Now, it doesn't spin the smoothest in the world. It's kind of thick, as a matter of fact. I'm not quite sure why. I'm gonna have to look into that. I'm using the jig I haven't used in a while. Using a eagle claw with the sickle hook, which I know works, but I just haven't used them much. There we go. We got one. Yes. Come on, Luxor. There we go. Thank you, little guy. Appreciate that. There's one with the Luxor. There we go. There we go. Little bass must have stayed right there. Okay. Luxor number 2. He's a little guy. We're going to throw him back. No picture taken for him. He's on video, so he doesn't need pictures. There we go. Not too bad. He's fighting pretty good anyway. Wow, he is fighting pretty good. He's not a bad fish. Not a terrible fish. Not the greatest fish. But he's pretty good size. Come up here. Mitchell 308. Let me put the fish in front of it so it, it looks like he's a monster. Got this 7.5 pound largemouth here. Fin is all messed up. Something took a chunk out of him. He's tough, what he is. Goodbye, toughness. Yep, there he was, still in the same spot. That is so funny how those bass do that here. That's a good sized fish too. He's fighting. Wow, he is fighting. Come on up here, big guy. You want to fight? Oh, that's a crappie. Holy mackerel. That's a big old crappie. That is a big old crappie right there is what that is. That's probably about 14 inches. Good sized fish. Thick too. Man, heavy guy. Thank you, Mr. Crappie. You're a big fella. I'm going to get you getting on out of here. And there he goes. I'm trying to turn the camera on now so I can reel him in.
Yeah, I heard that. All right, I'll talk to you later.
All right, see ya.
See ya.
Bye. And another big crappie. My gosh, what a crappie. These crappie are huge. Just in case you were wondering, that was my buddy Daryl, who now re-owns Mr. T. That one's probably not as long, I would say in the 12.5 to 13 range, but man, is he fat. He has been feeding. Man, I'll have to show you when I get this hook out of his mouth. That was with the Luxor. Look at, I mean, I can't even look at the thickness of that monster. He has been feeding and yet still hungry. What a beast. Anyway, let's get him back in the water since he's done a lot of flip-flopping. We'll set him over here. Get the pine needles off of you. And there he goes. Now that bait was, I forgot what that was. Let's find it. That is another Charlie Brewer edition slider. This is more minnow oriented, more shad like, has that more fish look to it, and it's a little longer. It's a little longer than what I usually use. Slider, double action. Yeah, it has the cuts in the body so it gets more action. 2.5, 2 1/8. Yep, 2 1/8. That's what that is. And that is in smoke blue shad. And good old Luxor brought it right on in. I will figure out what that little scrape is in there. Oh, we got another one. We got another one. Oh yeah, there we go. Got another one. That's a good sized fish too. He ain't coming up either. He's a fighter. I don't think he's very big though. No, he ain't very big. A little old bass. What are you doing way out there mingling with the crappies? I'm gonna tell you what, the sickle hook, it does hook well, but man, getting it out. Whew. Thank you, little fella. Oh, I felt a tap right there. Yep. Goodness gracious, I felt a tap before I even set the thing. That's a good fish right there. Yeah, that's a good fish right there. Come on up here. Another huge crappie. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna have to start measuring. These guys are getting so big. Look at that. Wow, are you looking at that? That right there is what you should be looking at. If you're not, what's wrong with you? Luxor, big crappie. You can't even see Luxor. It's back here somewhere. But the crappie are definitely hitting. Now I'm gonna hold him up. He, I would say, still in that 13 inch range, somewhere there. Another big belly, so they're feeding. They are feeding. Usually that happens about the time the, let's see if we can get him, about the dogwoods start blooming. He completely nose dove right into the dang mud right there, but he's coming up. See if I can push him. Oh, there he goes. All right, thank you for swimming off there. Let's see if we can get another one. Oh, we got a hit. Oh, we got one. We got one. They're not out very deep. And this is another big one. That's a big fish. My goodness. Man. It's a big crappie right there. The sandwiches that I could be making tonight. My goodness. Now that might be the biggest one yet, but I ain't sure. Another big one. And they're feeding. I ain't joking. Every one of them, their bellies are just as big and busted out. And they're still eating. They are still eating. No, you want to go out the other way there, buddy. There he goes. Whoop. There, we got another one. That's another one. And he ain't no small one either. This is, man, what a crappie day. This is a crappy day, people. Oh man, this one's got a mouth on him. Looks like he could swallow a tennis ball. Great goodness gracious. That just trumped the other ones, I'm pretty sure. Oh, look at that behemoth right there. Oh my gosh. Let's see if we can get a weight on him real quick. 211. Man, look at that. Look at that fish, people. Wow. Unbelievable. All right, big fella. Let's get you back in here. Get yourself together. There you go. Oh, there we go. We got another one. We got another one. Man, we are in the crappie. Now, this guy don't feel as big. But he's got some size to him because he's fighting. He's big. I mean, and by today's standards, that's a big crappie. Look at him. Get you back in there. Well, thank you for, hey, 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 hey. There's just no necessity behind that. You got yourself all tangled up in the weeds. I might have to use a stick to get you out. Garcia Mitchell, 308. We have 4-pound line on this one. And I got 6 on the Luxor. Because I thought maybe I was going to have to do some worming. So I put a little bit stronger line. Was going to use a light hook and probably wacky rig with that short sticko. I did notice over there, they look like a bed. Just on the foot of the bank right there. But it was just one. Which And it was deep, not a big, huge, round one like the bass usually do. It was kind of small, about soccer ball size. Whoop, there we go, we got something. About soccer ball sized. And what are you doing? Don't, you lost your mind, little fish. You crazy. Come on now, little fish. Oh, there we go. Oh, dear me. He almost took the rod out of my hand. That's a good fish right there. That's a good fish. That might be better than the rest. Yeah, he's fine. Yeah, okay, Don't you jump. You just come on in here to me. I'll ski you. He's making wakes. That's a big fish. Come on. Come on up here. We might be weighing you too. Come on. Great goodness almighty. Come here, you fish. Dang thing looks like a piranha coming in here. Goodness gracious. Look at this. He is bigger. We're gonna go weigh him. Let's get this hook out of his mouth and then we're gonna run over there real quick and weigh him. Oh yeah. This looks good. Yep, there's a hit. There's a fish. Well, that's a good fish. Man, we're gonna have to weigh this one too. Yeah, he's not as big, but I mean, I would be tickled to death on any given day to catch that. Hey. Yeah, I knew I had him. I could feel him trying to swim the opposite direction. He's trying to do that now. Man, these fish have got big bellies on them. Goodness gracious. There you go, another big beast. And look at the bellies on these things. I mean, can you see that? I'm trying to. The bellies on these things, man, they are feeding, which is fairly evident from the day. No, the other way. There you go. Yeah. This could be the last one right here, folks. We're just having such a good time. The sun's going down, but I got a cat to feed and a body to feed. And the crappie are just on. They are on. So we're about to lose a battery. This is what we've been doing most of the day. Other than them two little bass, those little bass we weren't doing anything much with. This is what we've been doing. Massive crappie. They're out there feeding. It's that time, I guess. The Luxor spinning reel. Fun reel. Has a few little issues I'm going to try to work out. I noticed one little rough spot on the spool that might be affecting the way it casts slightly. I'm going to take some really light sandpaper and take that rough edge off. The Mitchell did great. Mitchell did wonderful. It caught some big ones. As a matter of fact, it caught the biggest crappie that we've caught out here today. So this is what we've been doing. Had a great time getting these two from the Lightfoot Antique Mall. If you get a chance, go visit them guys. Go see Chris up there. Take a look around the store. Family-owned business. That's the kind of things we need to do these days, people. Get out there and help out these family-owned businesses and buy yourself an old reel, clean it up, and get out here and go fishing. Because this is the kind of thing that you can do with a reel that was built in the mid to late 50s. And it's fun, truly fun. Hey, I hope you enjoyed this. I know I have. I am ready for this season to kick in. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time. Crappie Guy out.